Hello, I'm Father Robert Spizter, the president of the Maggia Center of Reason and Faith. I'm here today to talk to you about the Catholic understanding of the scientific evidence for God. We'll be featuring in this Blink series some of the major highlights, some of the new evidence that has come out in the last few years. So what is the Catholic understanding of how the universe came into existence and how we came into existence, human beings? Let's just start with the universe as a whole. As we've gone through the Blink series, we see that faith and science are very complementary. We don't want to say that the Bible necessarily is doing science, because the Bible really isn't doing science. In fact, we're told this by a very important encyclical, Divino Afflante Spiritu, written by Pope Pius XII in 1941. And in that encyclical, the Pope tells us that the Bible's not doing science. The Bible is giving us sacred truths. And these sacred truths are for our salvation. And that's the point of Genesis. The point of Genesis is there's one God. And the sun and the moon are not gods, they're creatures of God. But all the creatures of God, why, they're good. God sees them to be good. And furthermore, human beings are made with the ultimate dignity, made in the image of God. In addition to that, God loves human beings. He treats human beings with respect and not capriciously as some kind of cannon fodder. Okay, that's the salvific truth of Genesis. We should not treat it like a scientific document. And we've been allowed to do that for many, many years since the time of Divino Afflante Spiritu. Now back to then the Catholic understanding. Well, what do we hold about how we came here? Well, as I said before, there's a tremendous amount of evidence that the universe had a beginning, and that beginning implies not only a God, a super powerful God, but a super intelligent, super powerful God. Because there's all kinds of evidence for not only the creation event, but also all kinds of evidence for the very intelligent design of our 17 universal constants. Now you put these two things together, and this is a scenario that might take place. That 13.7 billion years ago, if the Big Bang was the beginning of the universe, or some other time at the beginning of a multiverse or at the beginning of an oscillating universe, but some other point prior to that, there was a beginning of our universe or any multiverse to which we might be attached, or any oscillating condition to which we might have been attached. There was a beginning. And at that beginning point, God, as it were, this creative, intelligent entity that transcends the universe, just throws the universe into existence, or the multiverse into existence, throwing physical time into existence, creating literally physical time. At the same time, he's creating space. And the same time, he's creating the entire universe and its mass energy. And then finally throwing all the constants into the universe, all in the same mix, so that there is this remarkably well-ordered, well-planned, to well unfold and manifest itself, right? That it's coming out of this huge panoply in which God, this super intelligent creator, has pre-planned it and made it to be. And then, as this universe begins to unfold, perhaps over the course of 13.7 billion years, all of the forces of the universe separate. And then eventually we get what's called rest mass from our Higgs boson. And then eventually we get the quark soup, and we get the protons, and we get the electrons, and we get big, huge clusters of gas, and then stars and galaxies, and all of the various things. And today we know that we have about 10 to the 22nd stars and 10 to the 11 galaxies. And then, of course, there's the specialness, because all these constants that we have are anthropic constants. That is to say, they're giving rise, they're almost designed to give rise to life forms. Not almost, they are designed to give rise to life forms, filled with purpose. And of course, they begin to develop. And as they begin to develop, eventually they give rise to higher primates, and from higher primates to we have in an evolutionary process which Catholics are allowed to believe in. But through this evolutionary process, right, you finally get to a being, and this being is a Homo sapien. But that being is not just a physical being. I mean, there's all kinds of incredible evidence that you have a soul. You can get that evidence from near-death experiences, right? There's tons of very good evidence from peer-reviewed medical journals establishing the survivability of human self-consciousness after death. There's all kinds of evidence from the great Kurt Gödel, who was a famous mathematician, who showed that human creativity and thought patterns do not resemble algorithmically regulated finite structures, which are like artificial intelligence, that we're somehow beyond. The great transcendentals of Plato, all these things are indicating you have a soul, that somehow, when the Homo sapien was complete, God does breathe His dignity. God does breathe His image. God breathes His self-consciousness. God breathes His super creativity. God breathes the transcendentals. God breathes soul, transcendent soul, right into each and every one of you, which allows you not only to survive after death, but gives you all of the attributes of being made in the image of God. The Catholic view. You can learn a lot more through our new film documentary, Cosmic Origins, featuring 8 world-class physicists, available through Ignatius Press.